Kamakhya Temple and the mystery of the bleeding goddess. The Kamakhya Temple, located atop the Nilachal Hill in Assam, is one of the most powerful and mysteriously divine places in India. It is merely just not an ordinary temple. It is an ancient symbol of divine femininity, mysticism, tantra, and miraculous occurrences. It is one of the 51 Shakti Peethas where parts of Devi Sati's body are believed to have fallen on earth. Kamakhya is believed to be the most potent and sacred center of Shakti worship. Unlike other temples, Kamakhya does not enshrine an idol or murati, but a naturally occurring stone formation, symbolizing the goddess's womb, from which a perennial underground spring flows, never stopping, never drying. What truly sets this temple apart from all others is the mystery of the flowing water that changes its color to red during the month of June, signifying menses and fertility of the divine goddess. The goddess is praised by millions as Kamakhya Devi, and the devotees celebrates this auspicious time as Ambubachi. This divine act is still an unsolved wonder that continues to intrigue devotees, historians, and seekers of hidden esoteric knowledge alike. The temple is a major center of Shakti worship, or worshipping the feminine force of nature, tantra practices, and supernatural beliefs. With its forbidden rituals, secret tantric traditions, and miraculous events, Kamakhya continues to be one of the world's greatest esoteric wonders. The legend of Kamakhya Temple, the story of Shakti and Shiva. In the golden age of gods and kings, there was a princess named Sati, daughter of the mighty king Daksha. She was no ordinary princess. She was born of fire, of devotion, of the essence of Shakti herself. And her heart, her soul, belonged to none other than Mahadev Shiva, the ascetic god who roamed the mountains, his body smeared in ash, the crescent moon resting upon his locks. Such love the world had never seen. When Sati first laid eyes upon Shiva, she saw not a mere yogi, but the vastness of the cosmos in his eyes. She saw the dance of creation and destruction, the power of all that was, is, and ever will be. And so she chose him with a heart full of devotion against the wishes of her father. But pride is a cruel thing. King Daksha, mighty though he was blinded by his arrogance. He could not bear the thought of his daughter married to a wild ascetic who wore no crown, ruled no kingdom, and so his heart turned to stone. One day, Daksha, in his arrogance, decided to host the grandest of all yajnas, a worship that would bring him unparalleled power. The gods and sages were invited, the celestial beings descended, the air was lightened, uplifted with Vedic chants, but one name was missing. Mahadev was not invited. Sati, upon hearing of this, was overcome with sorrow. A daughter may not be invited to her father's house? She asked. And though Mahadev, in his infinite wisdom, warned her not to go, her heart ached. She went, not as a queen, not as a goddess, but as a daughter seeking the love of her father. But love she did not find, only hatred, only scorn, only cruel laughter as Daksha mocked her beloved before the gathered gods. Shiva, the outcast, the madman of the mountains, he jeered. And before the eyes of the divine assembly, Sati trembled in rage, in pain, in unbearable sorrow. With one final breath, she declared, "I was born of you, but today I burn away this bond forever." And before anyone could stop her, she stepped into the sacred fire. A gasp runs through the audience. Mothers clutch their children, men shift uneasily. The fire roared, the heavens wept, and far away on the peak of Kailash, Mahadev Shiva opened his eyes. The moment Sati's soul left her body, the skies thundered, the earth cracked, and from the mountains came Shiva, his hair unbound, his eyes burning with a fury that even the gods had never seen. He stormed into the yajna, his anger setting the skies aflame. He lifted the lifeless body of his beloved in his arms, and in his grief he danced, the Tandava, the dance of destruction. The gods trembled. The mountains shattered. The rivers turned red with fire and ash. The balance of the universe began to break. The end was near. The end of all was very near. But then Bhagwan Vishnu, the preserver of the world, saw what must be done. With his Sudarshan Chakra, he splits Devi Sati's body into pieces, 51 sacred fragments that fell across the land, each marking a place of divine power. And it was here, on the sacred Nilachal hill, that her womb fell. The seat of creation, the symbol of divine feminine power, and thus the mystery of the bleeding goddess. Even today, the goddess lives among her devotees. Even today, she reminds us that she is not just the goddess of destruction, but of birth, of fertility, of creation itself. Each year when the monsoon rains kiss the earth, the great Kamakhya Temple closes its doors. The goddess, they say, is resting, for it is the time of her cycle, the time when Shakti, the very force of life, renews herself. And then, something strange happens. The Brahmaputra river turns red. No one knows why. Some say it is iron in the soil, others speak of ancient magic. But the truth is something beyond mere explanations. It is a reminder that the goddess is alive, that she is among us, that she bleeds just as every woman does in the sacred cycle of life. For 3 days, the temple remains silent. No prayers, no rituals. The goddess must not be disturbed. And then on the 4th day, the doors open, and the blessed prasad, red cloth soaked in the temple's underground spring called Raktabastra, is given to her devotees. Do you know of the Raktabastra, the sacred red cloth? It is not just a piece of fabric. It is said that those who receive it, those who are chosen, carry the essence of the goddess herself. Many women who have struggled for years to conceive have held this cloth in their hands, prayed with unwavering faith, and returned home only to find that life, divine, sacred life, had taken root within them. While devotees consider this a divine event, scientists have tried to explain it in different ways. Some researchers suggest that the Brahmaputra river turns red due to high iron content in the soil. Others believe algae or microorganisms could be responsible for the red color. Whereas some says that tantrics perform secret rituals that involve blood offerings influencing the temple's waters. Despite these theories, no clear scientific explanation has been accepted, adding to the temple's enigma. Tell me, dear ones, how can anyone say that the goddess is a mere legend when she breathes, when she bleeds, when she blesses her children even today? Kamakhya is not just a temple. She is a force, a presence, a living energy. Some come here looking for answers, seeking to explain away her mysteries with logic and science. But tell me, how does one measure faith? How does one explain the power of devotion? The bleeding goddess of Kamakhya does not speak through idols. She speaks through the river that runs red once a year, through the prayers of her devotees, through the miracles that defy all reason. She is the eternal mother, the source of all creation, and the keeper of the greatest mysteries of the universe. So, my dear ones, the question is not whether Kamakhya is real. She is as real as the breath in your lungs, as the fire in your soul. The question is, does she call to you? For they say, those who are chosen by Kamakhya find their way to her, and those who are not never truly see her mysteries. Thank you for joining us. That's the story for today. If you enjoyed this one, stay tuned. We have plenty more stories to share. Want to be the first to hear our next new stories? Then click the subscribe button and turn on notifications. See you soon.